Have you ever stayed in a relationship because you were afraid to be alone? Has someone become your emotional anchor instead of you being your own anchor? If you've ever felt like you're losing yourself in someone else, if you've ever caught yourself checking your phone obsessively, your hands trembling when they don't reply, this video is for you. Today we're going to unpack how to emotionally detach when attachment is masquerading as love. Because here's the truth, attachment isn't love, and knowing the difference might just change your life. Let's start by defining what we're actually talking about here. Emotional attachment versus healthy connection. A healthy connection is when two complete people choose to share their lives. There's respect, freedom, growth. You feel expansive when you're together. Emotional attachment? That's different. That's when you need someone to feel okay, when their absence creates a void inside you that feels unbearable. Here are the signs. You check your phone constantly, waiting for their message. When it doesn't come, anxiety floods your chest. Your hands might even tremble. You find yourself molding your personality to fit what you think they want. You laugh at jokes that aren't funny. You agree with opinions you don't hold. You abandon your own plans the second they become available. You obsess over their mood. If they're distant, you spiral. If they're happy, you feel relief. Not because you're happy for them, but because you're safe for now. Does any of this sound familiar? If so, you're not alone. And you're not broken. You're just human. But we need to understand why this happens. So why does attachment feel so much like love? Because it's driven by three powerful fears. The fear of being alone, the fear of not being enough, and the fear of not being loved. Jung understood this deeply. He talked about how we project onto others what we lack within ourselves. If you don't feel whole on your own, you'll desperately seek that wholeness in another person. You're not actually falling in love with them. You're falling in love with the idea that they can complete you, that they can fill the void inside you that you've been running from your whole life. This goes back to what Jung called the wounded inner child, the part of us that didn't get what we needed growing up, the part that's still hungry for validation, for approval, for someone to tell us we matter. And when someone shows us attention, affection, desire, that wounded part lights up. It says, finally, someone sees me, someone wants me, I'm not alone anymore. But that's not love, that's dependency. And dependency will always feel like desperation. So how do you know when you've hit the turning point? When you realize it's attachment and not love? It usually happens in one of two ways. Either they pull away, and you're forced to confront the panic that rises in your chest, the way you spiral, the way you become someone you don't recognize, checking their social media at 2 a.m., crafting the perfect text that might bring them back. Or you wake up one day and realize you've been performing. You've been limiting yourself. You've been so busy managing their emotions that you've forgotten what yours even feel like. You're losing yourself, and you're exhausted. This moment, as painful as it is actually the beginning of your freedom. Because now you can see it. You can name it. This is attachment. This is fear. This is not love. Jung believed that absence, that space, is where we actually learn who we are. When someone's presence is overwhelming, we can't hear our own voice. But when they step back, or when we create that distance ourselves, we're forced to sit with what's real. And the shift begins. From I need you to feel complete to I choose you, but I don't need you to be happy. That's the transformation. That's when you start reclaiming yourself. All right, let's get practical. How do you actually begin detaching? Step one, recognize the pattern. You can't change what you don't see. Start paying attention to when you feel that pull, that anxiety, that need for their validation. Don't judge it, just observe it. Notice when you're about to text them out of fear instead of genuine connection. Notice when you're performing instead of being yourself. Write it down if you need to. The act of naming it takes away some of its power. Step 2. Embrace solitude and self-discovery. This is the hardest part for most people, because solitude forces you to face what you've been running from, the emptiness you've been trying to fill with someone else. But here's the thing, that emptiness isn't actually empty. It's full of you. Your thoughts, your desires, your dreams, your unmet needs, and you need to spend time there. Start doing things alone that you used to think you needed a partner for. Go to dinner, go to the movies, travel, sit with yourself without distractions. Get to know who you are when you're not performing for anyone. Step 3, set boundaries emotionally and physically. Boundaries aren't walls. They're not about shutting people out. They're about protecting your energy, your peace, your sense of self. This might mean not responding to every text immediately. It might mean saying no to plans when you need time for yourself. It might mean having an honest conversation. I need space to work on myself right now. Healthy people will respect this. Unhealthy people will resist it. And that tells you everything you need to know. Step 4. Integrate the shadow. Face your fears rather than bury them. This is pure Jung. Your shadow is everything you've repressed, denied, or hidden from yourself. The fear of abandonment, the belief that you're not enough, the shame you carry. You don't heal by pretending these parts don't exist. You heal by turning toward them, by asking, why am I so afraid to be alone? When did I learn that my worth depends on someone else wanting me? This work is uncomfortable. You might want to work with a therapist for this part, but it's essential, because until you face these fears, they'll keep running your life from the shadows. These 4 steps aren't a quick fix. They're a practice. Some days you'll feel strong. Other days you'll want to text them at 3 a.m. That's okay. Progress isn't linear. The point is you're becoming aware. You're building a relationship with yourself, and that changes everything. Now, detachment doesn't mean isolation. It doesn't mean you never connect deeply with anyone again. It means you learn to connect from a place of wholeness instead of neediness. A mature connection looks like this: 2 whole people choosing to share their lives, not 2 halves trying to become whole. You have your own interests, your own friends, your own sense of purpose. So do they. And when you come together, you're not merging into one person. You're creating something new while still maintaining your individuality. You can be vulnerable without being dependent. You can care deeply without losing yourself. You can love without needing them to validate your existence. But there are traps to avoid. Don't treat someone as a reflection of you. They're their own person with their own path. They don't exist to complete your story. Don't depend on them for validation. Their opinion of you matters, sure, but it shouldn't determine your sense of self-worth. Don't sacrifice yourself to keep them happy. The moment you start abandoning your needs, your boundaries, your truth to maintain the relationship, you're back in attachment territory. And here's something important to remember. Emotional detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care without clinging. You love without losing yourself. You give because you want to, not because you need something in return. You stay because you choose to, not because you're afraid to leave. That's freedom. And that's when relationships become beautiful instead of suffocating. Let's address some misconceptions, because I know what you might be thinking. Misconception number 1: detachment means I stop caring or being vulnerable. False. Detachment is not indifference. It's not about building walls or becoming cold and distant. You can still be deeply vulnerable. You can still care immensely. The difference is you're not attached to the outcome. You're not making their response the measure of your worth. Healthy detachment actually allows for deeper intimacy because you're showing up as your real self, not the person you think they want you to be. Obstacle number 1: the fear of emptiness, the fear of being alone. This is the big one, because when you start to detach, You'll feel the void, and it will be uncomfortable. Your instinct will be to fill it immediately with someone new, with distractions, with anything. Don't. Sit with it. This is where the real work happens. This discomfort is your teacher. Obstacle number 2, preferring familiar pain over unknown freedom. Sometimes we stay in unhealthy patterns because at least we know what to expect. Freedom, real freedom, is scary because it's unknown. You'll be tempted to go back, to text them, to fall into old patterns, to convince yourself that this time it'll be different. When that happens, remind yourself why you started this journey. Go back to your notes. Talk to a friend. Do whatever you need to stay committed to your growth. Because here's the truth. The discomfort of growth is temporary. The pain of staying stuck is permanent. So here's what I want you to do. Take a moment right now and ask yourself, where in my life am I clinging? What fear is driving that grip? Is it the fear of being alone? The fear of not being enough? The fear that if they see the real you, they'll leave? Name it. Write it down if you need to. Awareness is the first step to freedom. And then I want you to make a commitment. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be honest. Maybe it's, I choose my peace over my fear. Or, I will not abandon myself for someone else's comfort. Or simply, I'm done running from myself. Leave it in the comments. Put it out into the world. Make it real. And if you found value in this video, consider subscribing. We dive deep into Jungian psychology, personal growth, and the uncomfortable truths that actually set us free. Next week, we're talking about shadow work and why the parts of yourself you hate might be your greatest teachers. This work isn't easy, but it's worth it. You're worth it. Detachment isn't abandonment. It's self-sovereignty. When you are your own anchor, relationships become an invitation, not a lifeline. Until next time.